I want to bring in contributing writer and columnist for The New Yorker, Robin Wright. Robin, thanks so much for joining us. Israel, as you know, has one of the world's most sophisticated, well-funded intelligence networks. The question on so many minds, how did this happen? How did they not see this coming?
Well, the focus at the time, both in Israel and in Washington, was really on what was happening in the West Bank. There were growing tensions and a sense that protests could erupt at any time. And so Hamas pulled a fast one on everyone. And there'll be a lot of probes going down the road looking at what happened, why people weren't focused. This is an issue. This was a danger that should not have been ignored and should have been gamed and understood for a very long time.
What do you think the fallout's going to be for Prime Minister Netanyahu as well as his far-right government?
Well, short term, there's a unity in response to Hamas in Israel. I think down the road, there will be a lot of questions about why either his government or his intelligence service or his focus wasn't on the dangers from Hamas.
Israel's reaction to Hamas's attack has been deadly, of course. More than 600 people killed in the Gaza Strip so far, more than 3,700 wounded. What's the end game here for Israel?
Well, this war is unlike any previous war between Hamas and Israel. The scope of this conflict is so utterly astonishing in the tactics, in the uniformity, in the coordination, that the end game, I think, is a good way down the road. But I think it's going to look very different than it has in the past. Israel is committed to trying to obliterate Hamas, destroy its arsenal, eliminate its leadership. But the reality is very hard. Down the road, it's hard to kill an idea. It's hard to kill the kind of passions and fury that are unleashed on either side.
And let's also talk about just the further complexity here is that you have the hostages. So when they're bombarding these buildings where they feel like Hamas is hiding potentially, what's the risk now to those hostages?
The risk to hostages is very high. The problem is that the taking of hostages and the human drama and trauma it unleashes often it lasts or ends up taking far longer to resolve than a war itself. So I fear that even after the end of hostilities, that Hamas will have the leverage of these human lives and may exact a higher or longer term cost from Hamas.
There's, of course, been reporting from the Wall Street Journal suggesting that Iran helped plot the Hamas attacks and gave the final go-ahead. Do you believe that to be true? And if so, why would Iran get involved?
Iran is complicit in everything that Hamas has done. It has been, since the late 1980s, the primary funder, arms supplier, and political supporter of the Palestinian extremist group, both Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. But the question remains, as both the Israelis and the United States have said in the last few days, what exact role did it have in directing, ordering this assault? The reality is that the Palestinians have their own agenda, and while they rely heavily on Iran and coordinate very closely with Iran, are trained by Iran, we don't have answers yet about exactly what role it had. But again, Iran is complicit and has been for decades.
Contributing writer and columnist for The New Yorker, Robin Wright. So appreciate your time and insight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.